Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome you to Puckett Fieldhouse on the campus of Central Methodist University for tonight's Hard Market Conference volleyball matchup between Central Methodist and Graceland. Quentin Norris coming from the Catbird seat. Central Methodist, they're 10-3, 0-1 in the conference. Graceland 1-10, 0-2 in the conference. Central Methodist, they won a couple of games on Wednesday, part of the triangular match. They beat Tabor 25-12. 25-13 and 25-16. And then the Nightcat defeated Hamwilder Grange 25-12, 25-13, 25-17 as well. Their only conference loss was to Mid-American Nazarene in a 5-setter there on that Tuesday night. 25-17, 23-25, 18-25, 25-15, and 15-11-15 as well. Graceland, they're 1-10 on the year. Of course, they lost to William Penn on Tuesday night. 29-27, 17-25, 20-25, and then 17-25 as well. This is the second time these two teams met. They met on August 24th at the Missouri Valley Classic down in Marshall. Central Methodist won that one 25-19, 25-10, 25-15. Of course, many other sports events and national sports events going on there as well. Of course, it's tomorrow's Family Day. It'll start at 10 a.m. with the volleyball match taking on Peru State. I know Peru State is in Marshall taking on Missouri Valley. Football team takes on Clark. Let's see the football team go for win number one. Pre-game show for the volleyball match starts at 9:45, 1:45 for the football game. Also, the St. Louis Cardinals, they're playing the Cleveland Guardians, first of a three-game series. Game number 2 is tomorrow night at 6:15 p.m. from Busch Stadium. Cleveland's already made a spot in the postseason. Cardinals, they need a lot of help there. I think they're 7 games back for that third wild card spot there as well. Also, just to let you guys know, originally the Royals are taking on the Giants at 7:15 down at Kauffman Stadium. Originally, they were scheduled to play at 6:10, but for the people that are planning on watching the Royals game on Valley Sports Kansas City or listening to it on KMMO radio, that game has been moved up to 4:10 p.m. because of inclement weather there. That's what I was told on the Kansas City Royals Facebook page. So for all the people that have followed the Kansas City Royals and are planning on watching it, just to let you know they have changed the start time to 4:10 p.m. as well. And also this coming Sunday, some NFL football, some Major League Baseball there. 12 noon, the Los Angeles Chargers take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Both teams are 2-0 on the year. That should be a fun matchup down in Pittsburgh there as well. At 1:10 p.m. on that Sunday, Kansas City Royals take on the San Francisco Giants. Rematch of the 2014 World Series, 1:15 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals take on the Cleveland Guardians in that final game of the series there as well. Some NFL football on that Sunday. The Baltimore Ravens take on the Dallas Cowboys. That should be a fun one. Baltimore 0-2, Dallas 1-1. While Baltimore came off a loss to Las Vegas on Sunday. Dallas, of course, they're coming off the loss from New Orleans there as well. And then 6:10 p.m. on that Sunday night, it's Sunday Night Baseball. The Philadelphia Phillies, they're still in the hunt for that number 1 seed in the National League playoffs and maybe home field advantage throughout the entire the Major League Baseball postseason. They'll be taking on the New York Mets. And the New York Mets, I will tell you this, I got to watch them play last night. They played the Phillies, and they played a great game. They have really come on strong. They're pretty much in the number 2 spot in that National League wild card there. I think about 2 games behind the San Diego Padres there as we're coming down the stretch there. So 6 p.m. there on ESPN television. That should be a fun matchup there. Well, of course, we'll probably give you some updates on some of the baseball scores tonight. The Phillies and the Mets. Of course, along with that, of course, at 7:20 p.m., we got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Atlanta Falcons there. Sunday Night Football there. Chiefs are 2-0. Atlanta coming off a thrilling Monday night victory over the Philadelphia Eagles there as well. Of course, then we got Monday night soccer there at 5 p.m. Women's soccer taking on Graceland. And then it's 6:15 p.m. an NFL game. We got the Tennessee Titans taking on we got the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are 2-0 on the year. Jacksonville won. They're 0-2 as well. Then it's 7:15 p.m. The Washington Commanders take on the Cincinnati Bengals there. Washington 1-1. Cincinnati, they're 0-2. They lost to New England and lost in the last second 1-2 the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday. And then, of course, men's soccer is for Central Methodist men's soccer taking on Graceland at 7:30 p.m. And also, I want to give a shout out to Los Angeles Dodgers designated hitter Shohei Ohtani. He became the first player to achieve the 50-50 club. That's 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in one season. That is one accomplishment. I can remember about 36 years ago at that time, they had a guy named Jose Canseco, played for the Oakland A's. He was the first 40-40 player. Did it against the Milwaukee Brewers on national television. I remember watching that. I remember seeing some of the highlights there on television, and I remember, I would say, I think there was like maybe about 20 people in my school mentioned it to me that next morning in Slater Elementary, including my junior high middle school teacher named John Gurman. And I think he even mentioned it to the class that morning there as well. So Shohei is the first 50-50 player. There's been several 30-30 players. Most notably like Bobby Bonds and Willie Mays and everything else there as well. Well, of course, this is, of course, and also just to let you know, 11 days from now, the baseball playoffs begin with the National League and American League Wild Card Series there. We know there's some teams that's already made the postseason. On the American League side, the New York Yankees. Also, the Cleveland Guardians is still there. Also, Kansas City Royals. Hey, the Royals are in that number 5 spot there. But I think they're like 4 games behind the Cleveland Guardians. But also, you got to keep an eye on another team that has really come on strong, could really make some noise there, the Detroit Tigers. They swept the Kansas City Royals there down at Kauffman Stadium. They have really come on strong, and they could really make some noise there as well. They're in a tie with the Minnesota Twins for the last wild card spot. And you have Boston and Seattle in there as well. On the National League side, of course, the Milwaukee Brewers, they are the National League Central Division champions. They still have a chance, but most likely could get the number 3 seed in the National League playoffs there as well. Because I think Philadelphia's there. They had a couple of chances there, and I think if Philadelphia wins tonight, they will clinch the postseason there. But they still have a chance to win the National League East and also maybe get that number 1 seed and home field advantage throughout the entire baseball playoffs there. The Dodgers, of course, with that victory, along with Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 club, they also clinched the postseason there as well. Could be the number 2 seed there as well. And then, of course, Milwaukee most likely 3. 4 could be San Diego. But watch out for the New York Mets. The Mets are coming on strong there as well. So keep an eye on those New York Mets. Also, Arizona, defending National League champ. They are hanging tough in that number 6 spot there. Atlanta. I know Atlanta is, they're still in the hunt there. Atlanta, about a game behind there as well. So, and then you have the Cubs there. Cardinals, they still have a chance, but it's one of those they need a win. They need to really dominate the series against Cleveland. I think this is one of those they need to take at least maybe 2 out of 3 there. But then also, of course, it all depends on how the New York Mets do this weekend. Of course, they won Game 1 last night. Boy, that was a fun game down at 41 Seaver Way there. So, lots of things going on there as we head down the stretch. We're at the baseball season there as well. Quentin Norris sitting in the catbird seat tonight. Central Methodist Volleyball egging on Graceland there as well. Crowd starting to file in on a Friday night. It was a nice warm evening there, but you know Sunday is the first day of fall there as well. So I think according to what Kesley Cabellis, Beth Bonello, and Matt Beckwith said on Channel 8, I think we may see a cool down in temperature. I think they're talking about maybe temperatures in the mid-70s there as well. So we're heading down the stretch there. So Central Methodist and Graceland. Should be a fun little matchup tonight there. Central Methodist, they won 2 in a row. They're trying to go for 3 straight wins there as well. So we're about ready to get started there. Of course, we'll have most likely the prayer, the national anthem, the starting lineups there as well on this Friday night there. Of course, if you look at the rest of the schedule coming up there, Tuesday night, the volleyball team will be headed to Baldwin City, Kansas, take on Baker. Friday night, they'll be taking on Missouri Valley at 7 o'clock in Marshall. Then on the 30th, they'll have a triangular match at Columbia College. They'll take on Ottawa, Ford, and Columbia College, who, of course, defeated earlier on September the 7th. In a 3-setter there. They'll head over to Southwell Gym there. Then October the 1st, take on Mid-American Nazarene there as well. And then on the 4th, they'll take on Benedictine 7 o'clock. Of course, tomorrow morning, take on Peru State at 10 a.m., 9:45 a.m. pregame show there as well. So we're about ready to get started. We're just about a minute or so away. Central Methodist under head coach Coleman Lee. For Graceland under head coach Stu McDowell. Central Methodist 10-3, 0-1 in the conference. Graceland 1-10, 0-2 in the conference. Glad to have you with us there as well. Gabby Turek warms up there. Looks like Cameron Mahan is our public address announcer for tonight's game. Of course, along with the coaching staff of Coleman Lee, the assistant coach Dustin Carrier, and graduate assistant Victor Spiriati. We're about ready to get started. Central Methodist and Graceland. The officiating crew is all set.
Between the visiting Yellow Jackets of Graceland University and your number 18 nationally ranked Central Methodist Eagles.
starting lineups for both teams. Quentin Norris here as Graceland in the white uniform. Looks like the Navy trim. The Navy numerals. Central Methodist in the white uniform. White trim. It looks white numerals. Birds on the bats. As well, Central Methodist ranked number 18 in the polls there. Graceland there. We'll give you the starting lineups there. For Graceland, that's Shelby Jabor, Kaylee Baker, Sarah Toffee, Marcellus Aviles, Sierra Canola, Jen Van Kessel, and Ella Thomas. For Central Methodist, it's Mia Trankler, Annabelle Mawson, Gia Ganelli, Martina Gonsanto, Joanna Milo, Kelsey Walker, and Rita Campos there. Officials are checking the lineups, making sure everybody's all set there. Good crowd starting to file in to Puckett Field House on this nice Friday night. So we're ready to get started. Let's see who gets going here. Looks like Rita Campos checks into the lineup card. So it looks like Central Methodist has won the toss. They will get the first serve. Gia Ganelli from Verona, Italy will get the serve. Takes a few bounces there. Here's the jump serve. Line drive serve there. Here comes Graceland there. Two-hand set play to Campos, to Granelli. Granelli will set it up to Milo. That's a beautiful shot and a 1-0 lead for Central Methodist. Joanna Milo there with the kill. Granelli will serve. Granelli, the line drive serve there. Here comes Graceland. Two-hand set play out to Mawson, to Granelli. Nice job by Gasanto. Here comes Graceland. Campos digs it out to Granelli. Nice tip shot there. Just on the line there. And a 2-0 lead there for Central Methodist. It's like hitting the chalk with a baseball. So Granelli will serve there. Granelli serving, 2-0 lead there. Another line drive serve. Here comes Graceland. Line drive serve. Granelli. Milo. Oh, nice job there by Joanna Milo. And we get 3-0 lead for Central Methodist. Coleman Lee giving out instructions there. I tell you one thing, when you think of Coleman Lee, he has a mindset that reminds me of Gil Hodges, the manager of the New York Mets that won the World Championship back in 1969. And a point for Graceland to make it 3-1 now.
Checking into the Yellow Jackets, number 2, Haley Kelbiloa, and number 4, Grace Jensen.
So in the service, Haley Kelbiloa from Wanahi, Hawaii. I remember that town there. Their Little League team has made it to the Little League World Series and Williamsport. Remember watching them play a few times on ABC's Wide World of Sport. Gasanto digs it out to Campos. Now they set it up for Gasanto. Block there to Campos. Milo. Here comes Graceland with a tip shot to Campos. Down to Granelli. Granelli couldn't get it over, and a point for Graceland to make it 3-2 now. 3-2 is our score. Central Methodist scored the first 3, and then Graceland got the next 2. Here comes the serve there. Into the net and a 4-2 lead for Central Methodist.
Checking in for Central Methodist, number 3, Vanessa Cantoni.
Vanessa Cantoni from Curitiba, Brazil. Line drive serve here. Back goes Graceland there. Cantoni to Granelli. Mawson with the tip shot. Back goes Graceland. Here, see what Graceland does here. Block. I think that is Mia Trankler. Mia Trankler makes it 5-2 Central Methodist. Nessa Cantoni. Cantoni. Another line drive serve there. Mawson digs it out to Granelli. Oh, nice job by Trankler. Back goes Graceland. Blocked. And that's another point for Central Methodist to make it 6-2 now. Another 3-0 run. They matches it. They got the first 3 points already in the first set there. Another line drive serve there. Back goes Graceland. Blocked. A hit out of bounds and a 7-2 lead. That's the largest lead. It was 4 just a second ago. Now it's up to 7. Now up to 5 there. Cantoni is still serving. Takes a few bounces there. Another line drive serve there. There's Cantoni out to Granelli. Oh, Trankler gets a block out to Mawson. There's Granelli. That's Casantos. Block there. And that's going to go out of bounds. And an 8-2 lead for Central Methodist. That's Dustin Carrier giving out instructions there. Giving out the instructions. He gives out instructions. Another line drive serve there. Here comes Graceland. Blocked. I think that's Trankler with the block to make it 9-2 and Central Methodist. Can you believe it? They're on a 6-0 run. A quick timeout there. The first set. Central Methodist 9. Graceland 2 on the Hart Conference Network on CMUEagles.com.
Welcome to the Heart of America Athletic Conference, where innovation meets tradition. Here, growth is not just measured in victories, but in the development of character and sportsmanship. Our student athletes compete at a championship level, pushing their limits every day. The Heart is committed to an uncommon student athlete experience that features some of the premier athletic programs in the NAIA. Our commitment to excellence goes beyond athletics, establishing a community of support and mentorship. But what truly sets us apart is the heart with which we play. Join us and experience the passion, the drive, and the spirit of champions. That passion and commitment extends off the playing field and into graduation. The Heart of America Athletic Conference. Champions in competition, leaders in life.
So it's 9-2. First set, Quentin Norris from the catbird seat. And Vanessa Cantoni still serving. Senior from Curitiba, Brazil. Another line drive, sir. I believe that will be an ace and a 10-2 lead there. A 10-2 lead now. And Central Methodist, they're on a 7-0 run now. Ranked number 18 in the polls. They were up 19. Moved up to 18 this past Wednesday afternoon. Another line drive into the net and a point for Graceland to make it a 10-3 ball game. Let's hear Kanoa from Waianae, Hawaii. Will also serve here. From the left side to Milo. To the Seihei. Rita Campos to Annabelle Mawson. Back goes there. Nice block. I think that's Trankler with the block. 11-3 Central Methodist. That's Kelsey Walker. And to Seihei. Rita Campos will serve. Where's the great 24 in honor of another famous 24, Willie Mays. Back goes Graceland there. There is Grinelli out to the Seihei. To Chaba, killed there by Mariana Casanto. It is 12-3 Central Methodist. And the Seihei, Rita Campos will serve. From Porto, Portugal. Another line drive serve here. Back goes Graceland. And a tip shot, and it's over for Graceland to make it 12-4 now.
Checking in for Graceland, number 14, Jennifer Van Castro.
So now it looks like line drive serve out of bounds and a point for Central Methodist. 13-4 now.
Checking in for Central Methodist, number 22, Gabby Ochorik.
Gabby Ochorik. Gabby Ochorik will serve from Poland. What an amazing career she's had during her 4 years at Central Methodist. Boy, she's gotten better every single year. I just enjoy watching her play there, and is going to do great things there. Out of bounds, makes it 14-4. Ochorik still serving. Turk serving. Another line tries serve back. That's an ace. Makes it 15-4. 15-4. You're in the first set there. Turk still serving. Another line drive serve. Back goes Graceland there. Let's see what Graceland does here. That's a kill there, and it's a 15-5. Looks like Grace Jensen gets.
Number 15, Ella Thomas, and number 7, Sarah Toffee.
So Sarah Toffee in the serve from Pearl City, Hawaii. I remember that Little League baseball team. I remember watching them in the Little League World Series down in Williamsport. I remember watching them on ABC television. Ochorik, Dizo. Here comes Graceland there. That's out of bounds and a 16-5 lead for Central Methodist. So Annabelle Mawson from Jeff City went to Jeff City High School. Got to meet her mom, Julie. Also her sister, Quinn. What an amazing career for Annabelle. Boy, I really enjoy watching her play. Here comes Graceland. Tip shot. And it's going to be a point for Graceland. 16-6.
Checking in for Graceland, number 8, Marlies Avalanche.
So now in the serve here as Morris Avalos from Puerto Rico, around the same area where the great Roberto Clemente. Ochorik, I think that's Walker, puts it into the corner, makes it 17-6.
Checking in for Central Methodist, number 2, Mia Trankler.
Mia Trankler. That's Kyla Kolb. I got to meet her mom and dad right before the pregame show from Weldon Springs, Missouri, around the St. Charles area. Here comes Graceland there. Block. Just gets it over to Ochorik. Ochorik passes it out to Dizo with a left-handed shot. And that's a point for Central Methodist. And make it 18-6. 18-6. First set as Kaya Kolb will serve there. Kaya Kolb. And that's another point there, makes it 19-6. That's the largest lead right now, 13 there, Baker's dozen. Kolb is still serving. Here comes another one to Graceland there. Oh, nice drop shot there to make it 19-7.
Shifting in for Graceland, number 6, Kaylee Baker. And for Central Methodist, number 23, Kelsey Walker. And number 24, Rita Campos. For the Yellow Jackets, number 16, Maddie Bradley.
Maddie Bradley from Maricopa, Arizona, around the area. I think that's where some of the spring training baseball games you'll be seeing up there. I think in the next few months there. Turek. Milo, boy, a drop shot there with Joanna Milo. 20-7 now.
Checking in for the Yellow Jackets, number 14, Janet Van Gastel. For the Eagles, number 12, Mariah Bostic-Jones.
Mariah Bostic-Jones checks in from Jacksonville. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to be playing the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football, 6:15 p.m. there. That goes, and that's out of bounds, and a 21-7 lead. Of course, I remember having a great visit with her on September the 7th here at Central Methodist. Bostic-Jones serving. Another line drive serve there. Bostic-Jones to the Say-Hey. Now they give it out to Trankler. And a kill there makes it 21-8 now. 21-8 is our score in favor of Central Methodist. They're 4 points away from win number for taking the first set. And now into Sir Haley Kellanola. Milo, Bostic-Jones to Gasanto. Here comes. And that's a kill there. Makes it 21-9. Now Graceland's on a little run there. Central Methodist just 4 points away from taking the first set there. Coleman Lee giving out instructions. Another line drive serve into the net makes it 22-9. 22-9 now.
Checking in for Central Methodist, number 3,
Vanessa
Vanessa Cantoni.
Cantoni will serve. 22-9, first set. Vanessa Cantoni serving. Line drive serve. Nice block. I think Mawson gets credit with the block. 23-9 now. Boy, Mawson read it perfectly and gets the block. Makes it 23-9. $23-9 now. Floating serve. They had to wait for it to come from the ceiling there. But here comes Trankler. Back goes Graceland. Nice block, but here comes Graceland. Tip shot. And now it's set point for Central Methodist. 24-9. Set number 1. Cantoni will serve. It is set point now. Cantoni serving. Back goes Graceland. Say hey to Bostic-Jones, to Mawson. Back goes Bostic-Jones to Cantoni. There's Annabelle Mawson. And a point for Graceland. Now it's 24-10 now. So set point number 2 now. That's Joanna Milo. Joanna Milo checks in there. Canola serving to Bostic Jones. Block, recovered by Trankler to the Sehe. To Mawson. And a big point for Central Methodist. They take the first set, 25-10. We'll have set number 2 for you in 2 minutes, 2 seconds here on CMUEagles.com and the Heart Conference Network.
Welcome to the Heart of America Athletic Conference, where innovation meets tradition. Here, growth is not just measured in victories, but in the development of character and sportsmanship. Our student athletes compete at a championship level, pushing their limits every day. The Heart is committed to an uncommon student athlete experience that features some of the premier athletic programs in the NAIA. Our commitment to excellence goes beyond athletics, establishing a community of support and mentorship. But what truly sets us apart is the heart with which we play. Join us and experience the passion, the drive, and the spirit of champions. That passion and commitment extends off the playing field and into graduation. The Heart of America Athletic Conference, champions in competition, leaders in life.
Back here at Central Methodist University, Pocket Field House. Central Methodist won the first one, 25-10. What a great start there. Scored the first read, and Graceland cut it to 1. That was the closest they got, but Central Methodist kept pulling away, making big runs. I think one time they won on I would like to say a 12-0, actually maybe a 9-0 run there. That's why they got 12-3, then Graceland made 12-4, but then Central Methodist kept pulling away. The largest lead they had was 14. And then they scored the last point for that 25-10. That's then the largest lead so far. So, yeah, Trankler, Milo, and then number 9 there. That is Leticia Berra. Then you got to say, hey, Rita Campos. That looks like Gabby Torek. No, it's not Gabby. That is Granella Ganelli. All on the floor there for Central Methodist. And now in the serve for Graceland. That's Haley Calanoa. So get ready for set number 2. Central Methodist won the first one, 25-10. And we're ready for set 2 there. That's Milo to Ganelli. There's Milo. Boy, she's had a great game so far there. Mawson to Ganelli. That is, looks like Barrera. Ganelli to Barrera. Blocked and a point for Grace. First time they've led 1-0. So now it is Kanoa will serve there. Line drive serve to Milo. Ganelli. Milo, what a tie game at 1. Tied at 1 now. Vanessa Cantoni will come on in. Boy, she's had a great first set there. Makes a few bounces there. Line drive there. Oh, nice kill there, and Graceland leads it 2-1 now. So 2-1 our score, and that's Joanna Milo. Now Sierra Canoa. They look like they're both sisters. Here comes Ganelli. Oh, nice job by Trankler, tying the match at 2. Mia Trankler. Mia Trankler ties it at 2. And now checking into the game there is number 8, Kendra Collar from Hickman High School. Got to meet her mom there tonight. Sitting toward the front there. Of course, had a great visit with her mom right before the pregame show. As to say, hey, Rita Campos serves. Oh, it's out of... Oh, it's an ace. They over at a point for Central Methodist. Just barely touched the line there. So 3-2 lead for Central Methodist. Rita Campos. Another line drive serve there. Back goes Graceland. Campos. That's a 4-hit call and a tie game at 3. So now that's Shelby Jabor from Mancos, Colorado. Will serve there. That's Milo Gunelli. Now Mawson. Back goes Graceland from Lamoni, Iowa. It looks like touched the hand of Gunelli, and Graceland leads it 4-3 now. That's Jabor. 4-3 now. Milo to Gunelli. They set it up here. Oh, it is a point for Graceland. Makes it 5-3 now. That's the largest lead Graceland's had tonight, is 2. Mawson to Ganelli. They set it up for Mawson. Beautiful shot there by Annabelle Mawson. It's now 5-4 now. Gabby Atoric will serve. Haley Dreyer checks in there. Atoric serving. 5-4 now. Here comes Atoric, set it up for Mawson. Here comes Graceland there. Atoric couldn't get set, and now a point for Graceland. Makes it 6-4 now.
Checking in for Graceland, number 15, Ella Thomas, and number 7, Sarah Tofey.
Sarah Tolfi will serve. 6-4 now. Line drive to the Say-Hey, to Atoric. Collier. Blocked. I think Collier and Dreyer gets credited. 6-5 now. 6-5 now. Annabelle Mawson will serve. Mawson serving. Here comes Graceland. Say-Hey to Atoric. Miho, what a beautiful shot. Tying the match at 6. 6-6 tie now. Set number 2, Central Methodist won the first one, 25-10. Mawson serving, line drive serve. Here comes Graceland. Dreyer. Atoric to the Say-Hey, to Dreyer. Oh, that's a beautiful shot by Haley Dreyer, and Central Methodist leads at 7-6. And Annabelle Mawson to serve. Annabelle Mawson serving. That is an ace, no question about it. 8-6, Central Methodist. 8-6, Central Methodist. They're on a 3-0 run now. Mawson serving, another line drive there. Here comes Graceland. Out of bounds, and it's 9-6. 9-6 Central Methodist. Annabelle Mawson as Coach Carrier gives out instructions. Mawson. Back goes Graceland. Block. I think Haley Dreyer gets it. 10-6 Central Methodist. They're on a 5-0 run now. Mawson still serving. Mawson serving. That's out of bounds. And a point for Graceland now. 10-7 now.
Checking in for Graceland, number 8, Marlise Avalos.
Marlise Avalos will serve. So 10-7 Central Methodist. Mawson to a Turek. That's Collier with the tip shot, but here comes Graceland. Blocked. Here comes Graceland. A Turek. Dreyer. Into the net there. I believe that'd be 4 hits there. No question about it. 11-7 Central Methodist. Mia Trackler. Kyla Cole will serve there. Where's the number 20? Like another famous 20 from the New York Mets. Center fielder Tommy Agee. Oh, that's an ace. Takes it 12-7 now. Or another famous number 20, a guy named Frank Robinson. He used to play for the Baltimore Orioles. 12-7 now. Here comes Graceland here. A Turek. Milo gets it blocked. A Turek. There's Dreyer. Trankler. And I believe that is 4 hits. 13-7 now. $13-7 timeout. Graceland. Here we are in the second set. Central Methodist 13. Graceland 7 on the Conference Network.
Welcome to the Heart of America Athletic Conference, where innovation meets tradition. Here, growth is not just measured in victories, but in the development of character and sportsmanship. Our student athletes compete at a championship level, pushing their limits every day. The Heart is committed to an uncommon student athlete experience that features some of the premier athletic programs in the NAIA. Our commitment to excellence goes beyond athletics, establishing a community of support and mentorship. But what truly sets us apart is the heart with which we play. Join us and experience the passion, the drive, and the spirit of champions. That passion and commitment extends off the playing field and into graduation. The Heart of America Athletic Conference, champions in competition, leaders in life.
Second set, Quentin Norris in the catbird seat. 13-7 now. Graceland led early. They once led by 2, 5-3, but then here comes Central Methodist. From that on, they went on a 10-2 run now. And Kyla Cole will serve. Another line drive that is out of bounds, and a 14-7 lead for for Central Methodist. Kyla Kolb is serving. Kolb serving. Here comes Graceland here. Blocked, but out of bounds. And a point for Graceland to make it 14-8 now.
Checking in for Graceland, number 6, Kaylee Baker, and number 16, Maddie Bradley. And for Central Methodist, number 24, Rita Campos.
Maddie Brightly will serve. 14-8 now. Now the officials will talk it over, making sure everything is all set there. Now they reverse the call. So now it's 15-7 now.
Checking back in for the Yellow Jackets, number 14, Jenna Van Gastel.
They had to check the call to make sure it's correct, and it is correct. 15-7 now. Now Coleman Lee wants to check to make sure who's is still serving. I think it's Kolb still serving.
Eagles, number 20, Kaya Cole.
Kyle Kolb will serve there. 15-7 now. After the reversal of the call. Kolb will serve. Another line drive, sir. Here comes Graceland. Block. I think that's Trankler and Dreyer. Makes it 16-7. 16-7. Lauren Strange from Bloomington, Illinois, the most famous celebrity. Denny Matthews, the radio announcer of the Kansas City Royals. Here comes Graceland there. Mawson. Ature. Here's Trankler. Beautiful shot. 17-7 now. It's 17-7, and here is Kyla Kolb. Kolb will serve again. Another line drive, sir. Here comes Graceland. Blocked. Strange to a Turek. They set it up for Haley Dreyer. Back goes Graceland. Floater out of bounds. 18-7 now. 18-7 now. And here's Kyla Cole. And there's Mariah Bostic-Jones checking in there. Checks in for Gabby Aturek. Kolb. Back goes. There comes Graceland there. Bostic-Jones to Dreyer. Here comes Graceland. Out of bounds, and it's 19-7. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9-0 run now by Central Methodist. 19-7 now. And a point for Graceland to make it 19-8 now.
Checking in for Graceland, number 6, Kaylee Baker, number 16, Maddie Bradley.
So Rita Campos checks in. Bradley will serve. Mawson to Bostic-Jones to Trankler. Bradley to intercept play out to the say-hey. Rita Campos to Bostic-Jones. Trankler, Mia Trankler makes it 20. Of course, I got to meet her family a few times at Central Methodist. From Jackson, Missouri, a few miles up there, it's Kate Gerard, the home of Rush Limbaugh, who once worked for the Kansas City Royals. Maggie Johnson from Camdenton, of course, that's, if you remember, a former Central Methodist softball player named Hallie Ferris, who pitched a perfect game last April against Park. Came from Kidmonton. Ganelli, Julia Ganelli on the serve there. Here comes Graceland. They set it up into the net. Makes it 21-8. Central Methodist just 4 points away from a 2-0 lead in the match. Giulia Ganelli from Verona, Italy. I think the most famous cartoon character I ever visited was the Twee Bird. Blocked there, and another point for Central Methodist, 22-8. Especially the episode when Sylvester the cat tried to chase the Twee Bird and Granny with a fishing pole. That is a true story. Julia Ganelli. Blocked away, and that's Lauren Strain. And ladies and gentlemen, she is not related to the 1988 United States Men's Open Golf Champion, Curtis Strange. Ganelli serving. Another line drive serve there. Campos, Ganelli. Barrera, back goes Graceland there. 23-8, that's the largest lead they've matched. To say hey, and a point for Graceland makes it 23-9 now. Looks like Haley Canoa will serve there. Line drive to the say-hey. Here's Ganelli. Strange. Back goes Ganelli. Nice job, but here comes Graceland. They'll set it up there. That's Ganelli. To Lauren Strange. Barrera to the say-hey. There's this Lauren Strange out of bounds. Now it's 23-10. You ever seen? They were right home. Strange to Ganelli. There's Barrera. That goes Graceland there. Tip shot and a point for Graceland. Now they're on a 3-0 run now. Now it's 23-11 now. Haley Canoa. (23-11), set number 2. Central Methodist won the first one, 25-10. Oh, nice hustle, but 4 hits set. That'll be 4 hits, then it's 23-12. Now it's a 4-0 run now. Bucket Fieldhouse shivering with its concrete foundations. 23-12 now. Here's the say-hey, Rhea Campos. Strange. Mawson. Ganelli. Into the net, and it's 24-12. Now it's set point for Central Methodist. That's Lauren Ferris in the serve. She is from Springfield, the most famous celebrity, the great Bob Barker. You remember him? He used to host The Price is Right for 35 years. You used to watch him every morning at 10 a.m. Block there. And a point for Central Methodist. They won it 25-12. They have now taken a 2-0 lead there in this match. 25-12. We'll have set 3 for you in about 2 minutes or so on CMUEagles.com on the Heart Conference Network. Now, what was your name? I forgot. Lillian. Lillian. three here, 25-12, set two. They won the first set 25-10. Of course, tomorrow, Central Methodist Volleyball takes on Peru State 10 a.m. Pregame show 9:45 a.m. Central Methodist Football takes on Clark at 2 p.m. on Family Day. And just to let you guys know, original schedule was for the Royals, they would play in the San Francisco Giants. It was supposed to be at 6:10. They moved it up to 4:10 p.m. this afternoon because of a possibility of rain coming into Kauffman Stadium. So they moved it up to 4:10 p.m. there as well. The Cardinals are still in the hunt for the wild card, but they need a lot of help, most notably the New York Mets. The New York Mets, they are playing some good ball. They have a big 4-game series with the Philadelphia Phillies. That should be a fun one down at 41 Seaver Wave. There as well. Royals are in the number 2 spot in that wild card. Hopefully they can host a wild card series, but they're 2 games behind the Baltimore Orioles. And if the playoffs started today, they will begin game 1 of the American League wild card series there in Baltimore. Of course, the Royals trying to make the playoffs first time since 2015, that year they won the World Series. And I will tell you this, if you ever seen this Royals team play, they are a fun team to watch. They have Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez. They have a great pitching staff. Michael Walker, Seth Lugo, Cole Reagans, Kyle Isbell. Well, they are a fun team to watch there. And they can really make some noise in the postseason. And if they win that one, most likely could play either New York or Cleveland in the National League, in the American League Division Series. And I also read that if the Royals do get the 2 seed, game 2 of that series will start on October the 7th, the same night as Monday Night Football between the Chiefs and the Saints. So doubleheader day at Kauffman Stadium. Vanessa Cantoni will start set number 3 there. Back, and it's a block. I think Haley Dreyer gets the block. 1-0 now. Central Methodist needs one more victory for win number 11, but most important number, 1-1 in the conference. Cantoni. Cantoni with the serve there. Oh, look at Collier gets another kill. Kendra Collier makes it 2-0. Vanessa Cantoni will serve. That goes Graceland there. And it's 3-0. I think Collier gets another one. If you count the last 2 points of set 2, they got the first 3. They are on a 5-0 run now. And a 3-0 lead in set number 3. Cantoni will serve. Another line drive serve. And it's 4-0 Central Methodist. Timeout, Graceland. Here we are, set 3, Central Methodist 4, Graceland nothing on the Heart Conference Network. 3. Quentin Norris from the catbird seat. Vanessa Cantoni will serve. Autry. 4-0 lead. Here comes Graceland with a high floater there. Here's the tip shot to the Seihei, to Cantoni. Dreyer out of bounds. 4-1 now. Callers. So Haley Caminola will serve. Graceland needs to win this one to stay alive. Here's Milo to Cantoni. Dreyer, oh, beautiful. And it's 4 hits on Graceland, makes it 5-1. 5-1 now. Looks like Kesley Walker will check in. Senior from New Zealand. Boy, she's had a great year there, of course. Boy, she's really gotten better every single time when she stepped on the floor there. And looks like that is number 6 there, Alice Fernandez. Where's a number 6? Like another famous number 6, the great Steve Garvey, who used to play for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He was one of my favorite players on the Dodgers. 6-1 now. And a point there, and it's 5-2 now. Joanna Milo checks in there.
And for Central Methodist, number 16, Joanna Milo.
Sierra Calanova will serve. 5-2. Out of bounds makes it 6-2. Central Methodist. Kelsey Walker, as soon as we're done, we'll probably take you out to Busch Stadium. Probably take you out to Kauffman Stadium for the Giants and the Royals. That's, of course, Ryan Lefebvre, Rex Hutler, Joel Goldberg will have it for you there on the Royals Television Network. Cantoni to the Seihei. That is Dreyer. Here's Cantoni. Set it up for Kelsey Walker. Back goes Walker. Block. Here comes Graceland to the Seihei. There's Cantoni. Here is, that's Farish. Blocked. A nice drop shot there, makes it 6-3. So Shelby Jabor in the serve to the Seihei. Rhea Campos to Cantoni. That's Dreyer. Back goes Graceland to Campos. Cantoni. Farish. Here comes, and a point there. 4 hits makes it 7-3. Mariah Bostic Jones. That's Lauren Strange. Bostic Jones into the net, makes it a 7-4 game.
Shifting in for Graceland, number 15, Ella Thomas, and number 17, Karina
Hernandez Cruz will serve from Puerto Rico, around the same area with the great Roberto Clemente. Great ball player for the Pirates. Farish to Bostic Jones to Farish. Lauren Farish makes it 8-4. 8-4 now. Lauren Farish in the serve from Springfield. Another former Central Methodist baseball player came from Springfield named Robbie Merced. Of course, his dad Orlando played in the big league. That's an ace off the shoulder of Shelby Japor. Makes it 9-4 there. Of course, Robbie's sister is playing, Chloe was playing softball at Missouri State. 9-4 there. Oh, nice kill there. I think Milo makes it 10-4. Joanna Milo makes it 10-4. Puckett Fieldhouse shivering with its concrete foundations. There's Farish. 10-4 now. Bostic Jones to Farish. Here's Campos. Oh, nice kill there by number 3, Brianna Crabtree. Makes it 10-5 there. And now in the serve, Marcellus Avilas. It is 10-5. Central Methodist won the first one, 25-10. 25-12 in the second set. Campos to Bostic Jones. Walker. Here comes Graceland here. Out of bounds. No, I think it's tipped, and it's 10-6 now. Even though it says 11-5, but it should be 10-6. That's what I have written on my scorecard. Now we got to straighten out. 10-6 now. Campos. Bostic Jones. Oh, nice kill by Lauren Strange. Now it's 11-6 now. Kaya Cole will serve. Kendra Collier. Boy, she's played a great ball game there tonight. Kaya Cole will serve there. Back goes Bostic Jones, Kolb. And that's Lauren Strange. Makes it 12-6. Kaya Kolb. Back goes Graceland. And a point for Graceland. Makes it 12-7 now. So 12-7 now. Rita Campos checks in. Kendall Garza from Rosemount, Minnesota. Around the Minneapolis area, most famous TV show that you watch, The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Farish to Bostic Jones. Milo. Strange. Boy, she has come on. Played well in the last 2 sets. Here's the Sehe. Milo. Joanna Milo makes it 13-7. That's Haley Dreyer. Vanessa Cantoni. Vanessa Cantoni, boy, she has played well. Boy, she has played a great ball game tonight. Cantoni. Back goes Graceland. Into the net, and it's 14-7. Cantoni serving just a little past 8 o'clock on this Friday, September the 20th. $14-7 now. Campos to Cantoni. There's Milo. Off the ceiling. Here comes Graceland. Milo to Cantoni. Dreyer. Into the net. Makes it 15-7. Vanessa Cantoni. Back goes Graceland there. Campos to Milo. Back goes Graceland. That is out of bounds, and it's 16-7 now. So timeout by Graceland. Central Methodist 16. Graceland 7. Set number 3 on the Heart Conference Network. And 9 points away from win number 11, but most important, number 1-1 in the conference, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we got Escobar, Lillian helping me out there in the press box. One of these days, they should name it after me. Cantoni. Back goes Graceland there in front of 42,000 fans, and millions are watching on television. And a point makes it 17-7 now. Cantoni, that's Maggie Johnson from Campbellton. Went to Campbellton High School. Of course, another former Central Methodist volleyball player also went to Campbellton, Jordan Wolf. Nelsa Cantoni. 17-7 now. Dug out by Campos. Dreyer. Here comes Campos. Cantoni. Johnson. There's Farish to Cantoni. Milo. And it's 18-7. 18-7 now. Central Methodist University shivering with its concrete foundations. Cantoni will serve. Here comes Graceland there. Out of bounds, it is 19-7, Central Methodist. I believe the largest lead they had the entire time was 15 there. That happened the first set, 25-10. 19-7 now. Here comes Graceland there. Left-handed shot. And a point for Graceland. Now it's 19-8 now.
Checking in for Graceland, number 2 with Haley Gabiloa, and number 4, Grace Jensen.
Haley Catalanola will serve. Wanani, Hawaii. I believe that's the area where Tom Lasorda used to live back in the 1970s. And it's 19-9, and the most famous person that ever broadcast a game in Wanani, Hawaii was Al Michaels. The great Al Michaels before he became a radio announcer for the Cincinnati Reds back in 1972. Out of bounds there, and it's 20-9 now.
Checking in for Central Methodist, number 6, Alice Fernandez.
There's Alice Fernandez. Where's the number 6? Like the great number 6. My favorite one, Steve Garvey. Played for the Dodgers there. He was their first baseman. Floating serve there. Here comes Fernandez. There's Farish. Oh, Lauren Farish with the kill. Makes it 21-9. They're 4 points away from win number 11. But most important number, ladies and gentlemen, 1-1 in the conference. 21-9 now. Fernandez. Cantoni. That is Dreyer. Cantoni takes it out to Johnson. Farish. Back goes Graceland there. Back goes Cantoni. There goes Dreyer. Now here comes Cantoni. Farish. Back goes Graceland there. There is Dreyer. Cantoni. Here's Farish. And a point for Graceland. Make it 21-10. Joanna Milo checks in there. Now, looks like one of the players will tie her shoes. Sierra Canola into the net. Now it's 22-10. That's Maggie Johnson, the serve. No, actually, she'll give it off to the Say-Hey. 7 in is Kelsey Walker as the Say-Hey. Rita Campos. Where's the great number? Where's 24? Like a great number 24. The great Willie Mays. Out of bounds, makes it 22-11. Now in the serve here, Shelby Jabor. 22-11 now. Cantoni. Oh, look at Kelsey Walker. And it's 23-11. Mariah Bostic Jones and Lauren Strange. Mariah Bostic Jones will serve. Central Methodist 2 points away. Here comes Graceland there. And it's match point. So all the Central Methodist fans, if you're listening in, if you're one of those 1 million fans that are watching on television, get those hands clapping. It is match point. Bostic Jones there. Milo to Bostic Jones. Farish. Here comes. Back goes Graceland there. Now Bostic Jones. They'll say that for Farish. Block to the Say-Hey. Bostic Jones to Farish. Here comes Graceland there. Liner. Let's see what they do here. Blocked. Still alive. Campos to Walker. Bostic Jones. Here comes Graceland there. And a kill there just to increase the tension there. And it's 24-12. Central Methodist University shivering with its concrete foundations. That's Tonina Hernandez Cruz. Will serve there. It is now match point number 2. And those hands are going to be clapping there. Well, it's like going to Yankee Stadium when there's 2 strikes. You know the Yankee fans will be clapping. Bostic Jones. Walker. Bostic Jones to Campos. Oh, that's the winner for 25-12. They won the match 3-0 now. Let's recap the scoring there. Central Methodist won the first one, 25-10. 25-12 in second set. 25-12 in the third set. They won it 3-0. They are 11-3. Most important number, 1-1 in the conference there. They'll be taking on Peru State. Pre-game show, 9:45 a.m., 10 a.m. start time. Also at 2 p.m., Central Methodist football take on Clark as well. There's Quentin Norris saying so long. That's 7,728 of them. Hey, let's head out to Kauffman Stadium for the Royals and the San Francisco Giants. That is Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hutler, and Joel Goldberg. At least that keeps you entertained.